I live on Virginia's northern neck. It's sort of a little peninsula that's bordered on the north by the Potomac River, on the south by the Rappahannock River, and on the east by the Chesapeake Bay. When I get up in the morning and I see the geese flying south for the winter, that means it's time for me to fly west because the harvest is happening, the fields are available, and the relics are waiting for me to find them. That's what we're going to do today. First signal of the day. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's junk. All right, there's some copper wire. That was that nice sound I was hearing. There was a tenant house on this part of the farm, built probably a couple of decades after the Civil War. There's just so much trash from that tenant house. I just dug a water pipe off camera. All right, something out of the hole. Piece of nail. It still sounds good, and like I said, this is a known spot of a tenant house. Yeah, that's a lead head nail where it had a little lead cap on it to keep water from leaking into the roof. So that's probably why it sounded good. I'm expecting iron here, but let's see what we can come up with. Yeah, there's a piece of iron. Piece of a plow. See if we've already popped it out. Nope. Maybe it is a bullet. It's responding a bit like a bullet. Oh no. I see green. I know you do. That is as green gets. Right there. Look at that. What if we've started the day with something decent? Or is that a shotgun shell? Yeah, looks like a shotgun shell. Big old shotgun shell. If I was a betting man, which I have been known to be on occasion, I started to say that might be a bullet, but that might be a shotgun shell. Let's see. Yeah, whatever it is, it's right there. We're right on it. There's something. Uh-oh. Is that a shotgun shell? Or could that be a button? That looks like a button to me. Come on, be a hole button. Oh, yeah. Now, what is that puppy? All right, we got a shank on the back. What is it? But without my glasses, I can't tell what that is. The odds on this camp are that it's a New York, but yeah, now I can see it. That's a New York. A lot of damage. Full button with the shank on the back, so we're not going to complain about that at all. A New York coat size button. That is our first confirmed Civil War target of the day. And I'm happy with that, baby. This was just a whisper of a signal. But it's 4 feet away from where I found that New York button. Oh, yeah. All right, I can hear it right smack dab in the middle of the bottom of the hole. Let me let you see what I'm seeing. I'm seeing glass right there. Oh no, that's not glass, that's stoneware. Yeah, I already dug it out. 69 caliber round ball. Okay, we're still in a very close proximity to where we found the New York State button, maybe 10 feet away from that. Sounds deep, but sounds good. On this farm, I do love to hear a deep target. still sounds like a bullet. We should be right on it, right in there. Should be, oh, there you go. There's your bullet. I'm sure that's some kind of Civil War bullet. That looks like a fired 3-ringer. All right, so right out of this one little spot, we've gotten a 69 caliber round ball, a fired 3-ringer, and a New York button. This is one of those signals that's hard to pin down. I hesitated to put it on camera because it sounded like it was possibly a good signal, maybe mixed in with some trash. It looks iron, and I told you it sounded junky. Well, it's got some size to it, whatever it is. Let's do a little excavation here. Let's see. Okay. That is just a piece of junk. Yeah, it's real thin. I was hesitant to dig this because it's so close to that iron strap that I dug earlier, but it sounds good. Maybe I dug it up. So there's another 69 caliber musket ball. All right, open the hole up. Let's see if its sound changed. I guess it's kind of amazing when you think that all the years that I've hunted this farm, and certainly many others came before me. In fact, I don't know whether any of you have ever heard of Harry Cassidy. He was kind of a legendary Cold Harbor relic hunter. He found an unopened crate of Civil War bullets on this farm. What's that right there? All right, I think I just hit it. Yeah, I see it. Do you? Nice example. I believe this bad boy is either a button or a shotgun shell. You know, I can't help but, as I walk these fields, but thinking of the Civil War soldiers who were here. Whoa, 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 I see green. Is that a button or a shotgun shell? It looks like a shotgun shell. No, it is not a shotgun shell. It's a flat button. We know both the North and the South, on their shirts, their pants, their underwear, they had simple porcelain buttons or flat buttons. I'm on my way back to the truck to go to lunch, get a sandwich. I wouldn't be surprised if I could hear it on my pinpointer right on the surface. Yeah, is that it right there, right under the surface? So it's a little cuff-sized button. Yeah, beautiful green patina on that thing. Oh, shucks. Piece of aluminum. Dog it. I've had lunch, and I'm back out in the field, and I got a signal, and if this is a bullet, it's a deep one. All right, we dug it up. Now it sounds like a bullet for sure. Yeah, I see it. Look there. It was a deep one. First target after lunch. Yeah, that's a Lincoln. Let's see if there's still something in there. Huh. All right, still something down in there. All right, there's a little piece of nail. That's one of those bullets that's going to be really hard to tell. Could be pistol bullet. I think that's probably a good signal. It's probably going to be something Civil War. Yeah, that was not a great sounding signal, but that's a pretty brown patina 3-ringer. In my last video, I showed you at least one example of every state button I've ever found on this farm. New York, Massachusetts, Maine, Rhode Island, and Michigan. And this place has turned up a bunch of buttons. The state buttons always come out of the ground looking better than the eagle buttons. And I've always figured that that's because most of the state buttons probably had a better quality of gold gilt on them. And so that gold gilt protected the buttons from the fertilizer a little bit better. All right, nice to hunt after a rain like this. See some glass. This one is out of the ground. Small pistol bullet. Civil War, about a 36 caliber pistol bullet. Nothing wrong with finding a Civil War pistol bullet. They're a whole lot rarer than musket balls, mini balls. I hate to admit it, sometimes I hear a signal and I think it's not worth filming, but I'm going to dig it anyway. And sometimes it turns out to be something pretty good. This may be one of those times. Definitely didn't sound old, but I dug it anyway, and in the first clod, I see green right in the middle. What do we got there? No, no, no! That's a button! You can see the shank on it. I did not think that was going to be worth digging. And there's a button with a shank. Wonder what kind of button she is. I mean, it's probably an eagle button. It looks like an eagle button. Yeah, I think I see it. Face is cracked up pretty bad. I'm going to move to another part of the farm just because I've never hunted it very much and see what I can dig up there. And I just got here and I got a real nice buttony sounding signal. Buttony. Did I just plop it out? I think we got another inch or two to go. All right, does that look green to you? Doesn't look like white lead patina. Let's take a little bite and see. That could be a big flat button. Yeah, that's a big old, looks like a tomback button to me. Yeah, that's a very old button, 1820s probably. But that's a pretty cool looking old colonial button. All right, there it is. Something hard, that looks like a bullet. Be surprised. All right, there's a little 3-ringer. I always set myself up for embarrassment when I predict a target. I got it on that last tomback button, and I think this could possibly be buttony. Look at that little round green. I think I called it right. I think that's a button. Yeah, that's a good button. That's not pushed. It's got a back and a shank, and it's got a face on it. What is that? I don't think I've ever seen one like that. It's not a New York. Oh, heck, I'm excited. I don't think I've ever seen a button like this. Nah, I was all excited. I thought that was a military button that I've never seen, but now it looks like a civilian button with a little floral design on it. But I think that's a civilian button. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't worn by a soldier on his shirt. Let's see if it's still in there. Oh, yeah. All right, there it is. There it is, bullet. All right, there's another 3-ringer. I think that puts us into double digits. I think that's the 10th bullet we found today. Oh. Okay, there's half of probably a mule shoe. Nothing beats, if you're new to this, find yourself an old house site, or if you have permission on a place that might have been a battlefield or close to a battlefield, just go as often as you can and stay as long as you can, and pay attention to what you're hearing and what that turns out to be. So there you go. There's a 69 caliber round ball, and that, students, is your lesson for today. Class dismissed. Man, I'll tell you, by any measure, today's hunt was a great hunt. I'm down to finding the smalls now, and in the early days, I've been hunting this farm for over a decade. In the early days, I found some pretty nice bigs. I remember finding this 6-pound cannonball, probably from Stonewall's guns in Cold Harbor, being a 6-pound solid shot. I also remember the day I found this Dyer shell. That was a surprise. I haven't found much artillery on this farm, but finding my first Dyer shell was quite a thrill. I've also found a couple of plates on this farm, 2 eagle breastplates, Beautiful shape, both of them. One of them I actually found in the same hole with a sword scabbard. But the other one is my favorite. The one I found in the hole with the sword scabbard has a ton of detail left on it. It's a beautiful plate. But the other one is the only eagle breastplate I've ever found worn down this much. And there's an explanation for that. As I'm sure most all of you have heard, the Civil War soldiers were famous for tearing those breastplates off and throwing them away because they figured out those shiny brass breastplates worn right in the center of their chest made great targets. But this guy wore his certainly for years. This one was just well worn, almost smooth in places. I've just never seen one worn down that much. And something about that well-worn plate makes it a favorite of mine. I heard a guy years ago say that the secret to happiness is not in having what you want, but in wanting what you have. That spoke to me, and I like it. So even though I think the bigs may be gone, finding what I found today sure brought me a lot of happiness. If it brought you any happiness just watching, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got a national election coming up really soon, and I believe that your vote matters, and I believe America needs your vote. We'll be together relic hunting again soon. Check in next Friday. That's when a new Battlefield Walker video is released every week. Until I see you then and there, be sure to be good and say your prayers.